Hi guys, it's Karen. I just got some chocolate off my teeth that I noticed when I tried to do this video a few seconds ago. Embarrassing. Ooh. This is my day 19 update for my 100 Days of Making Comics challenge. And this is going to be a very short update today. I'm commenting on work that I did last night. And that was that no, I didn't make homemade chili. I did that just now. What did I do? Where's my notes? Here we go. Homemade lentil, vegan lentil chili, by the way. It was really good. Notes, page 1. Notes, page 2. I did more background work on my big bad character. I'm trying to figure out why in the heck he had this person murdered so I can start writing the book. I've narrowed it down. I don't know yet, but I did narrow down like what his business is, almost. So now that I kind of have a feel for what his business is, now I can like think about correct scenarios or believable scenarios as to why he had this person murdered, because I do want it to be business related. So that is all I have to say. This is an extremely short update. It's really just an accountability video. I will hopefully have more for you guys later today. Like tonight, hopefully I'll get more done. So, yeah, that's it. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow for day 2, or I'll check in with you guys. I'm going to be working on day 20 today. This was day 19. Day 19 was yesterday. I'm making the video today. I'm going to work on day 20 today, and then I'll make another video. Peace, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, it's day 20. I spent my 30 minutes today doing research. I was looking, there's a nuclear power plant at the heart of this story. Nuclear research facility, power plant, whatever. So I went through and I gathered up pictures of nuclear facilities because I wanted to learn about, well, because I can't just like snag a picture and use it. I have to like research. And I'm sure that this is, when I get to this point again, I will actually be reading like way more about nuclear power plants and how they work than I'll ever need to know for this comic thing that I'm doing. But I wanted some good close-ups of buildings where the people may be working, parking, what kind of structures they have. This dome is the actual containment, I guess, where the actual uranium is held. Again, here's another dome. These structures are the cooling towers. Those are called, look at that, containment building. Containment. Yeah, more. And look at the scale. I don't know if you can see this. I'll zoom in. These things are freaking big. They can be up to 660 feet tall. Look at that. That's amazing. I don't know. Can you see that? So they're just ginormous, these things. Look at how big this thing is. Oh my God. And yeah, so in this book, in this issue or whatever I'm doing here, this stuff's not even going to be, I won't ever draw anything this close up. But eventually, I might. Eventually, the people, the hero and stuff, will be actually going to the, the power plant. So I'll have to actually like plan it out. This is a more newer one. Anyway, so I did that research, and I also did, these are so cool. This is a really modern one too. The containment, I don't even know where the cooling towers are on these. But yeah, so I think this was Fukushima. Maybe this one? This reminds me, I think this is part of Fukushima. There was, I'm not sure. This is 3 Mile Island back in here. Yeah. Anyway, so I did that, and I also started looking up reference for the very first scene. I was trying to get ideas of the restaurant in the alley. This is going to be really hard for me. I am not good with buildings. I'm probably going to mess. I've got SketchUp on my computer, and I'm probably going to mess around with it again. I would rather see if I could quickly. It might be quicker to build a model in SketchUp than it would be to try to figure out the perspective. So I don't know. It just depends. I needed inspiration for alleys and shady parking lots. And I think the hero's going to be driving around in a 1971 Nova. So not nearly as nicely restored as this one. And look, this one was for sale, I think, for $41,000. Pretty sweet. 1971, year I was born. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. That's how old I am, people. So I had to pick the 71 version. But it's really cool, isn't it? However, the one that he would be driving would not be nicely restored. It would be all rusty and, lucky the damn thing works. So I spent quite a bit of time, as you can imagine, doing this. I was also watching YouTube videos and stuff, so I was trying to kill 2 birds. So that is what I did for day 20. And I will see you back here in a couple of minutes to show you what I did for day 21. Okay, so day 21, I actually kind of did a lot that day. Was that yesterday? I'm not even sure what day it is now. Let's see. Yeah, that was yesterday because today is Friday and I'm trying to play catch up on this video. I started trying to write again, and what I realized is that I needed to get the timeline of events set straight because, I mean, it's a murder mystery, so I needed to know. I couldn't write the outline with the investigation until I knew what happened in the murder. Exactly. What I did was I ended up writing, what's funny is by setting up all these details, then I ended up writing more than I had in the outline. So this was both a timeline and also an expansion of my outline. So what I realized... Oh, this is the outline. That's why I'm confused. Let me go to my notes. The company. No, that wasn't where I put it in. Where did I put it? Don't tell me it's not. Oh, event timeline. Here it is. Okay, so I started off pretty general. I still haven't named the city. I know it's summertime, setting, city, summer. I don't know how well you can see all this. This is all spoilers, so if you're not interested in finding out what happens in this book, I guess you don't want to follow this. But if you're more interested in learning about how I am working through this and setting up a story with all the gory details, then follow along. So I started off with the setting, and then I started to break it out into day. And it's really interesting. This totally changed when I started laying out the story by hour, it changed my outline a lot. I actually had to change details in what I thought was going to happen in my original outline. So I started off just thinking, oh, okay, the action, the murder is going to take place. And then I wasn't sure. I realized I wanted to be, down by the docks in a shipping warehouse. So I'm still quite not unsure. Here's the details. So the time, this is when the murder happens, around 10 p.m. And I had to set up how the murder victim, contacted the murderer contacted the victim. Blah blah blah. Who saw it, because there has to be a witness the police don't know about that my hero is going to find. And then when was she found? Well, originally I realized, okay, it's got to be late. Everybody's gone home, so nobody's going to find her till the morning. But then, so I originally was going to have this happen at like 7 or 8 in the morning on day 2. But I realized no, because that puts it way too far out from when I start the story with my private investigator in the evening. So she is sitting out back behind the garbage can for several hours, yucky. And a coworker who notices gathering seagulls and other carrion birds behind the building picking at her. So he calls the police. The police arrive and begin the crime scene investigation. And then I named my detective character. Detective Vargas is in the lead. I don't really know how accurate my time stuff is. And these are things that like I get really hung up on. Like, I'm really trying hard not to, like, I want to go and like, well, how long does it take for a body in the morgue and, for the autopsy and, all this stuff. So that perfectionist part of me is really trying hard to commandeer this project and tell me that I can't continue going forth until I've actually like researched proper police procedurals. But this is not going to be a police procedural, so I don't need to have it exact. So, and it's really not that much of a mysterious. I mean, it shouldn't take too long for an autopsy. So anyway, So then I switch in the middle of all this. My hero, Gregor, has been tailing Henry Mallett all day and writing down his movements. So this is where the actual story will start. So all this stuff back up here, above here, it's all off camera. Now, of course, here's the other trap. If this was a novel, I might start chapter 1 with the woman meeting her murderer and, in fact, I probably would definitely start it this way, like a little prologue where she meets the guy and then all this happens. But so then, of course, once I wrote all this out, I'm like, ooh, I could see it in my head. I was like, it's a lot of good visuals. It's going to be, great, killing her and driving her down the alley and horrible, horrible. And then I wanted to draw it out. And I'm like, okay, but that would add another, 2 to 5 pages. Well, 3 to 5 pages to the story. And I mean, you could do that, but that like in a classic noir, well, like say in the Maltese Falcon and stuff, you don't really see. I mean, you only know what Sam Spade knows. So I don't know. I'm probably not going to include all that detail, but I'm torn about that too. Because once I wrote it, then I got excited about it and I wanted to include it, but I don't know. We'll see. So here at 9 p.m. is really where the story starts, where my protagonist is following the Henry Mallett gets shot. Okay, so then this all changed too. I realized that I had him waking up just a few hours later, but in this new timeline version, it would make a lot more sense because it was getting really late at night and people showing up at his office at like midnight. I mean, it could happen, but it's not so believable for like Nora to do that. The character, his first client, or his client A, I guess, not client. Anyway. So I changed this, then added another day here, 7:30 a.m. Gregor wakes up in agony, checks his phone. He has several missed calls, both from Nora Mallett and the company liaison, who I have yet to name. Then I have him go back to the office, and that's when Nora shows up at 8:20. She berates him for ignoring her calls and claims she had no idea her husband employed such violent people. Then I have him passing out here, and then I have the company liaison entering his office. And so this is like similar to what I had before, but here's where I had to change it. Instead of looking through case files, he actually calls Detective Vargas and agrees to meet him. And then here's the end, the sequel, or it's called a sequel in novel writing, but anyway, scene, sequel. So then I ended Act 1, and now I had started on the timeline, and this is all new stuff because this is all I have to write, and I think it might, excuse me, so now I don't really have the details set out in where I'm now getting into the place where I still need to outline Act 2. I just have some broad notes outlined, but I have to start outlining details. And then, so the only detail I have is that Gregor drives up to the warehouse and parks. The area is cordoned off by a crime scene tape. Detective Vargas is waiting outside the building. Take out coffee in one hand, folder in the other. So I did that. And the other stuff that I did was handwritten. So I guess there's really not much to show. I did, oh, okay. I will switch to my video to show that. I'll be right back in a minute. If I can stop the recording. Okay, guys, I'm back. This is just the little bits of follow-up. It's actually something to look at. I mean, it scribbles, but I started to lay out some, I was going to think about the murder victim. It's a woman. So then I started realizing I don't want to go into too much gore when he was looking at the files that later that next morning in the car. But I did want to have, I wanted to draw a work photo of the woman, which would be clipped to top of the, file with a paper clip. And I wanted to have a kind of suggestive crime scene photo of her. This is a hand. Isn't that is so silly. This is just a total scribble. But to me, she's laying down with her head here in a pool of blood with her hand outstretched. And that's really all I want to show in the file, because I want to, I don't go into too much gore, let the reader imagine it. Draw the documents on separate layers, copy and paste so I can use them again in issue 2, etc. Because he's gonna, the case will not be totally wrapped up at the end of this book. And then I also, when I was going through the timeline, I actually did some really crazy thumbnails. Oh God, you guys, sorry. I have to have my phone plugged in because it's dead. And so I have here a page. This would be the last page of the chapter. Yeah, there's my notes about what I did. Day 19, day 20, day 21. Yeah. So this is not, there's a moment where when I write this, I'll have to change it up. But so he picks up his shot glass, and here's the picture of him and Marta on his desk that he keeps with him, and I wanted that there. And then I wanted him picking it up, and there won't be any word. I don't know if I'm going to have any dialogue or not here. So then here's a shot of his face as he's picking it up and holding. Yeah, these are like the silliest looking thumbnails. They're not even like anatomically correct or anything. This is not even close to this was just like notes so that when I actually go to thumbnail the page, I work off of like these broad ideas, but then actually try to make something that looks good. So it would be the picture and him picking up the glass, holding his shot glass, looking at his photo. Here's the stand in the back. Pours himself he puts the picture down here, so he's pouring himself another drink. Picture the back on desk. So 1 panel, 2, 3 panels. Then he has the bottle of vodka in one hand and his glass in the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then here, this is the nuclear power plant. So he'd be looking out his window at the river with the power plant in the distance. So, and I don't know, this might all be one big shot, or there might be like a close-up of his face or captions or something. So yeah, this was nothing this wasn't real thumbnails. This was just, again, I had these visuals in my head, and as I was writing out the timeline, and I just wanted to jot it down so that I didn't forget how my panel ideas, and then I will actually try to thumbnail them into something decent later. So that's all I've done today. I think I'm going to spend some time with Google SketchUp. I have the program. Well, it's not Google SketchUp anymore. It was bought out by some company. And I want to try to maybe
design Gregor's office and teach myself the program. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how long. I'm just going to mess around with it for a little bit and see how hard it is. Because like I said, you know, I don't perspective and interiors and cars and all those, you know, real life things. I can't do very well off the top of my head. I need reference, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's slow. And I don't want to spend a million years like learning all this. So if it would be faster to teach myself Google SketchUp and do like a bare bones office plan with his desk in the window, and then I can put that in behind, you know, in the panel, turn it to the angle I need, and then draw on top of it using it as my structure lines. That would be so much quicker and easier. And it just depends on how long it would take me. It might take me like, I don't know, a long time to set up his office, but then once it's set up in SketchUp, I never, you know, once I learn it and I set it up, I'd never have to do it again. It would be, you know, so then in the long run, it would save me like a bazillion hours of time. So, and I could probably pay somebody to do it, but, you know, this is a personal project. I might as well, and I don't, you know, have there's no money coming in from this, so I don't really have any money to spare to go out to it. So that leaves it to fall on me. So I don't know. Google or SketchUp might be beyond my capabilities. We'll see. So I plan to fool around with that, and it's a very simple office. It won't need to be very elaborate. So a desk, a couch, a bathroom. Yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, that's what I plan on doing. I also have to try to write more. I just don't really have the brain power to focus on writing or drawing right now. So I was finishing up that commission, and I'm just, you know, it's one of those days. We've got a heat advisory here, and it's just bleh. So maybe sometimes when these kind of things happen to me, if I focus on a new challenge, something completely new that it stimulates me, and I, you know, learn a new project. Teach yourself how to knit. Teach yourself how to crochet. Teach yourself Teach yourself SketchUp. Teach yourself, I don't know, Blender or ZBrusher. Those are all things I want to teach myself. I mean, I taught myself in the last 2 years to knit. That's another story. But yeah, so I might watch some YouTube tutorials on SketchUp and play around and see what I can come up with before lunch. And if I have anything to show, I will. If not, maybe I'll try to. I still have that. I got a lot of writing left to do. So anyway, I'll stop rambling, and I'll try to put this together for you guys this afternoon and get caught up so that you know that I have not been slacking over the last 3 days. And I will talk to you later. Bye.